Boker Tov, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi Eric Solomon, Raleigh, North Carolina. A little chilly Erev Shabbos here in Raleigh. Quick morning Torah. So the parsha is Achrei Mot, but I may touch on it a little bit. It's basically just the death of Aaron's sons, who give a strange fire as a sacrifice. But I want to focus more on a different quality that's going through our Jewish calendar right now. We are counting the Omer, which are the days between Passover, Pesach, and Shavuot, a total of 50 days. And is a mitzvah to count every single day in between. As we get there, we approach freedom from Egypt and now receiving the Torah on Mount Sinai. And we're trying to get there on the journey. And each week, according to the mystics in Judaism, the Kabbalists, Mekubalim, each week is identified with a specific midah, a virtue, a quality, an attribute of God. And the first week was chesed. Chesed means overwhelming love. To give chesed is the ability to love, to give, to generate positive flow one to the other, or God towards us, or flow of chesed in the world. The second quality is Gevurah, which is often seen as the opposite. Gevurah means strength. It can mean limits. It can also mean discipline, boundaries. So if chesed is overflowing love that just flows from the heart, it's so gushy and warm and beautiful, Gevurah puts limits on that. It stops it. Or another way of putting it is it channels it, right? Water that flows like love, that's overflowing, could be beautiful, but if it's overflowing too much, it could actually be damaging. It needs to be controlled in a riverbed or in a canal, or maybe even a dam. The idea is that you actually need both. Overwhelming love is beautiful. There's a mitzvah to love your neighbor as yourself, of course. Also even to love God. But love without any boundaries is a problem, and Gevurah is about boundaries. And so what I want to say is that, this is a challenge that many of us face with people we love, whether it's family or friends, that when we love, there's a tendency just to love, means love always means yes. Love means I will be here for you, I'll do everything for you. I mean, it's a tremendous quality, and in fact, we need more of it in the world, and in difficult times and challenges, more love is needed, and chesed is such a beautiful thing to flow and to exhibit and to bring into the world. And yet, there are times when loving someone the best is also saying no. And I've seen this numerous times here in my congregation. I feel so blessed to walk the journey with so many of the people in my shul. But there are times, in particular one case, I remember once, a number of years ago, where a father came to me so distressed and in tears, basically saying, I love my child. My child is launched from the house, so to speak. But he's having problems getting himself financially together. And one of the reasons he's not financially together is job. He had various challenges. He said, I'm willing to help him, but is that he keeps coming back to me and expecting me to financially support him. And so while he doesn't make full decisions independently, because I'm constantly kind of a crutch, and I know it's a problem. And we've talked about it, and we've talked with therapists. But I don't know, Rabbi, I love him, and I how can I not support him? How can I not? Every situation is more complicated and everything's much more nuanced. But in the end, we talked about chesed being balanced with Gevurah. Chesed, love, balanced with some boundaries of Gevurah. That it's okay to have boundaries. That to love someone is also to sometimes to tell them no. No, I can't keep giving you this resources, not because I don't love you, it's because I do love you. I love you so much that I want you to fly. I need you to become on your own. That my greatest sense of love is going to be through helping you to grow. So I bring that this week to say, because some people, especially parents, it can be hard to say no to your kids, especially in our American culture today. It's all about yes, and everyone gets a trophy kind of stuff, right? And there is a place for also saying no. And that no is a way of love. When you tell your child, don't cross the street without looking because you'll get hurt, and you give them a consequence. It's not because you don't love them, it's because you love them so much. You want to protect them. In fact, one of the arguments of the whole Torah is that God gives a Torah, all the mitzvot, not as a sign of punishment, as early Christianity said, but God's love comes through the law. God is giving us guidance. That's what the Torah says. So that's what the Torah is for. So I leave this with you. Gevurah. This is a week of Gevurah. And Achrei Mot and the two sons, well, it's a very terrible story. One of the messages, possibly, is that they had to learn there was boundaries for their behavior as well. Just because they were the sons of Aaron doesn't mean they could do anything they wanted. There's Gevurah. There are limits. There's boundaries too. May we all give proper boundaries. May we give strengthened to give boundaries and say no sometimes. Not because we're trying to be mean, but actually because we love people. Sometimes the answer is no. That's Gevurah. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.